and an obvious punting situation for the Central green.
So Dobney and Malinowski will be awaiting the kick, but first Central's going to call a timeout.
Central is facing a fourth and about 21 yards. They'll be punting from their 32.
And the timeout called by Central, and nobody coming out for Portsmouth. They pretty much are set. Now,
Coach Pafford comes out.
Now somebody coming out. Adorned in the bright green rain slicker.
This foul weather gear today. We thought we were going to need it while our cameras have their camera slickers on, but as we mentioned, the rain stopped just a few minutes before kickoff. We had a steady rain during pregame. We thought it was going to be a soaker.
And it's still completely clouded over here. There's low-lying clouds and threatening clouds all over the place, but nothing all day, really.
We're at Gill Stadium in Manchester. Portsmouth Clippers with a 21-0 lead, and back to punt is Sean McDonough. Holkland was taking care of the punting in the first half.
And Butch and Malinowski are waiting.
McDonough hits an end over end, and it goes out of bounds right at midfield.
That'll only go about 20-25 yards.
So the Clippers have pretty good field position to start their next offensive series. They open this second half with a 65-yard run back on the kickoff by Malinowski. A couple plays later, after a Jim Pafford keeper, by the way, a nice 15-yard pickup. A couple plays later, Michael Dowd ran it in from 4 yards out. And Pafford will lead his troops again, 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line, Portsmouth territory. Pafford holds on to it, passes to Sorrell, almost a nice diving catch, just eludes Chris Sorrell.
Nice play-action fake there.
Pafford looking to Sorrell a lot today. He has 2 receptions for big gainers. Jimmy throwing into the wind. There's a slight breeze. The gusty stuff that we had this morning has tailed off. There's Hurricane Hugo somewhere up in the Quebec province. There's Malinowski, lots of open field, still on his feet, taken down from behind at the 35-yard line. Eric Malinowski, a big gainer.
Weaves his way for a 15-yard gain for the Clippers. And once again, you know, Schatzevel getting in on it, Malinowski in on it, Dowd, they're all having a great day.
That versatility in the backfield is a real bonus for the Clippers. Schatzevel has been their big man, White right behind him as far as total yards, and Dowd is always there, always a steady back, and now Malinowski is showing he can run with the ball.
And they run very similarly. They're very similar type backs, it seems.
Dowd on his feet, over the left side, spins away from a couple men. Pickup of about 8, maybe 9 yards.
All of them very bruising runners. They don't shy away from contact. And in that example, meeting up with a tackler isn't necessarily good news for the defense because they end up getting pushed back a few yards.
Clippers winning on first downs here. Picking up that 7, 8, 9 yards on first down.
Now they'll take Malinowski and White and put them wide to the right.
Pafford to Dowd, and Dowd bowls his way for the first down. Pickup of about 5, maybe 6.
Boy, Hinton came in late and leveled somebody when the pile was stacking up.
Petruzzi lost his helmet.
.125 left to go in the third quarter. After this, the Clippers will travel to Spalding and then play Concord at Alumni Field.
That game just up the pike in Rochester with the Spalding Red Raiders, a Friday night ball game. Clippers will play under the lights. Haven't played under the lights yet this year. Be interesting to see if Coach Dobney holds a night practice this week to try and get the Clippers accustomed to those lights. I'm not sure if that's on his agenda. I know A lot of professional teams who do nothing else but play football for a living have the luxury or the opportunity, if you will, to practice under the lights. When you have homework, it's often another story in high school football. First down and 10 for the Clippers. Ball on the 24-yard line, staying with Dowd. Dowd just bowling his way all the way down to inside the 20. He is really running like fullback.
Straight up the middle, nothing fancy there, and you can see Brewster, Pereira, the whole offensive line is just patting themselves on the helmet and everything because they're just clearing out right now. You can see coming off the ball, they're just exploding. Robbins, Sorrell, Sean Deblois. 2nd and 1. And Dowd on his feet. He's going to get in there for a touchdown. Michael Dowd. A 16-yard scamper. Really running like a power fullback. Eluding tacklers, running over them, dragging them into the end zone. Jeff Hellwig grabbed him at the 5-yard line and just held on for the ride. And that boosts the score back up to 27-0. And we'll wait for the Dobney kick. It seems as though in this game that the Clippers asserted themselves a little quicker. They really got things going quickly in the first half, but they've dominated pretty well throughout this ball game.
First quarter was really a question mark, though, in terms of ball control for the Clippers. They had that 7-0 lead on the muffed punt, but in terms of ball control,
Sure.
Central really had time of possession. Extra point by Dobney is good. 12 in a row for Butch Dobney.
So that'll make it 28-0.
22 seconds to go in this third quarter. Clippers are making a laugher out of it.
And now if you're Central, you're just trying to get some points on the board.
Central has been on the short end of a couple of blowouts. Spalding beat them 36-0. Concord beat them 35-8. And now Clippers with a 28-0 lead.
Well, the Clippers seem to get everybody the week after they play Concord, so looks as though they're handling them just as well as Concord did.
Let's take a look at that replay on the 16-yard scamper by Dowd. You see him bowl over one guy and then drag the next one into the end zone. And back for the kickoff, Butch Dobney kicking from his 40 into the wind.
Schiavone will wait back, and this time he kicks away deep down to Schiavone.
On one hop, he fields it out to 10. Schiavone spun down from behind. Sean Connors was in there. And it looks like Hudson, too.
He gets the jersey tackle on Schiavone.
16 seconds to go in the third quarter. Clippers will finish the game with the wind at their back.
And we might have a final play before the end of the third quarter.
4 seconds to go. We'll see if Benson can get it off. Nope, that is it. So, at the end of the third quarter, the score is Portsmouth Clippers 28 and the Central Little Green nothing. We'll be back with fourth quarter action right after this. On first down and 10, Matt Benson fumbled, and the Clippers have recovered. They'll take over possession of the ball deep in the Little Green territory, right about the 20-yard line. Benson just seemed to lose control of it before he was hit.
Yeah, fumble right on the exchange. I mean, it looks as though he didn't really even have control of the ball when he did step back. So another break for the Clippers. And what has to be a very tired Central defense will come out to face them.
The Jimmy Pafford. No touchdown strikes yet today. All of the Clippers' TDs have been on the ground. And there's Dowd again. Dowd has really asserted himself in this, well, late in the third quarter and opening up in the fourth quarter. He's been the man the Clippers have been running to.
Turning and spinning his way that time. Straight up the middle. And now he'll check back out.
Pickup of about 5 yards for Dowd. will bring up a 2nd and 5 from the 16-yard line.
Richard Stroh now checks into the ballgame and is in the backfield as Coach Dobney empties his bench just a little bit.
Pafford goes to Stroh. Stroh will lose a tackler, still on his feet, still going. Stroh says, not often I get in. I'm going to get in and show him what I can do.
Okay, so now we've got 5, 6, how many quality backs coming out of the Portsmouth backfield?
Stroh gets the first down. He's taken down at about the 7-yard line. Richard is a senior, goes 5'8", 170. And it's 1st and goal for the Clippers at the 7.
Malinowski and White will set up wide to the right, but I bet he'll keep Stroh in this for this series.
Pitch to Stroh, touchdown! A 7-yard option play. And Pafford is untangled.
I like how Coach Dobney would tend to do that. If a guy gets a good run, he'll keep going to him. And that time Stroh set it up with a nice run on 1st down and then just went right back to the well.
Pafford and Dana Royal got tangled up after the pitch. And they both got up slowly. Richard Stroh, a 7-yard pitch, and it looks like Dobney is in. They'll go for the point after. He's going to throw, and it's picked off in the end zone by Denoncourt. So the Clippers fail on the 2-point conversion. They had Butch Dobney in there, and he was looking for White in the end zone. But Steve Denoncourt stepped in front of the pass.
So 34-0. Clippers really pulling away. Let's take a look at that. Touchdown one more time by Stroh, and you can see all kinds of room to move. Everyone on the inside. Hinton with a last-minute block, but it looked like Stroh had pretty much a head of steam to go into the end zone all by himself. So we've got one for White, one for Schatzabel, two for Dowd, excuse me, and one for Richard Stroh. And Malinowski has that return run. So big day for the backfield of the Portsmouth Clippers.
Dobney on the kickoff. Slight breeze at his back, kicking from the 40-yard line. 34-0. Clippers on top. Fielded at the 15. And running into the pile and tackled at 32 was Dave Lesage.
And guess who made the tackle? Richard Stroh. For the Clippers.
So Richard very pumped up. Playing on the special teams, scoring a touchdown, coming back to make the tackle. You see that often. When a player makes a good play, they'll come right back with another good play because they're just so juiced about it.
Well, it looks as though he was running up the center of the field. He may be the wedge breaker, which is a great position to play.
First kick for the Little Green. Schiavone on the handoff. Hudson runs his man down for a loss at the 25-yard line. That was Mike Delisle.
Keeping up that aggressive play on defense, stringing it out. And there on the sideline is Kevin Delaney. Looks like he's nursing maybe a pulled hamstring or just trying to stretch out.
Stretch out that right leg. That was a 4-yard loss as Delisle was just pushed back and to the side by Hudson. Matt Benson is still in at quarterback.
Some substitutions now on defense for Portsmouth.
There's Delisle, shirt tackle from behind. Petruzzi had him by the shirt and slowed him up for the rest of his teammates to take him down.
Jake Rowe is in there now. Kevin Guy, also for the Clippers. Along the line as well as Justin Long. So plenty of people getting a workout today for the Clippers.
Good opportunity for Coach Dobney to get his second team in there with a 34-0 lead. 8:30 to go in the fourth quarter.
And this is the way I'm sure that Coach Dobney likes to get his players in the team. A nice lead, get them some experience, and not have to bring them in because of an injury.
Third down and very long. 15-yard lines, a flag before the snap.
In in the backfield, and Benson is livid. And it'll go against Central. Too much time.
When this ball game started, it looked like Central would give Portsmouth a run for their money, at least stay close. In the first quarter, they at least had ball control. They didn't put any points on the board, but they had possession for the majority of the first quarter.
And they didn't seem to get a whole lot of yardage.
Seems like they've been backpedaling ever since. Benson on the rollout, gets away from pressure, now more pressure, and he's taken down, sacked at the 14-yard line, gang tackled, and Clippers a little too overzealous, pick up a penalty.
Yeah, Jamie Hinton was not going to be outdone as he slipped and fell and didn't quite get the sack. But there were a whole bunch of Clippers in late on the tackle. I don't see a flag, but boy, there were a lot of...
What the referee threw was his marker. I thought he was throwing the flag because there were so many Clippers in on the tackle.
And it looked as though the man was down by the time that about 3 or 4 of them came flying in.
So not overzealous, just zealous enough.
But you can see even with the as he brings in the stringers, and they're still putting pressure on the quarterback. So a lot of people in Class L wondered about the depth of the Clippers. That they had a fine starting team, but if a few people went out, how would they adapt? And the Clippers have had a few people go out, and everyone else is just picking up the slack.
This is probably the weakest team that the Clippers have played. Nashua was not a strong opponent in the first game. Memorial was pretty strong for about a half, even 3 quarters. And then the Clippers broke it open in the 4th. Central has been somewhat of a weak opponent, as the score would indicate, 34-0.
Well, they're going to dig in the next 2 weeks with Spalding and Concord, and then it's Dover, Exeter, and Winnicott. So if Clippers get by the next 2 weeks, they could be in pretty good shape, but you just don't want to mention those things, I guess. Don't want to emphasize them at any rate.
On a 4th down and 30 from their own 14-yard line, Nick Holquin will be punting.
I'd like to see the offensive yardage total for Central at the end of this ball game.
Another high snap. Holquin punts from the goal line, goes almost straight up, comes down at the 30-yard line. So a 26-yard punt for Nick Holquin.
And the Clippers will have some time, 7 minutes and 28 seconds left in the game, and they'll do some more experimenting.
Let's see if Coach Dobney goes to Butch Dobney at quarterback. Yeah, I see Jimmy Pafford on the bench. Actually, not Butch Dobney. He's going to his 3rd man, Jason Lodge. Handoff up the middle. Clippers fumble.
Flag on the field, however.
Now we'll wait to sort out the penalties.
And carrying the ball was Stroh, I believe.
Got Stroh up the middle. Handoff. Jason Lodge is in at quarterback. He's a sophomore, goes 6'2", 175. Coach Dobney had told me earlier in the season that Brian Hare would be his 3rd quarterback if he needed to go to a 3rd quarterback, but apparently he wants to try out Jason Lodge.
Well, in the pregame offensive formations that they were running, Pafford was at one end, running the ball into the end zone, and Jason Lodge was the other quarterback. I really didn't pay too much attention to that, but...
perhaps he's emerging as their 3rd-string quarterback.
Could be. Sort of unorthodox to see number 85 standing over center.
We've got apparently offsetting penalties. And on the pickup, it'll be 2nd down and 8. 2nd down and 2, an 8-yard pickup. Lodge hands up the middle. And another big gainer for Richard Stroh.
Brought down by John Parker for Central. Clock continues to roll, and Richard Stroh is starting to pile up the yardage a little bit for the Clippers.
Stroh had the last touchdown for Portsmouth, a 7-yard option play. Jason Lodge on 1st and 10. will go to Stroh again. Stroh up the middle. He's looking very fine out of the backfield.
Well, it'll be interesting after the game to see the rushing statistics for the Clippers and the offensive statistics for Central. Remember, in week one, Coach Dobney basically happy with the win over Nashua, but not so much with the running game, and he has definitely gotten it today in all areas.
Max Stiles is out at wide receiver.
They go to the one back. Stiles and Croto.
Lodge on the option. Bowls over one man. Now taken down from all angles. Down at the 4-yard line.
Also in on this series is Dwight Santos and George Pantalakos.
Kirk Whitmire is also out. Max Stiles will leave the field now.
Max Stiles sporting a mohawk hairdo. Trust me under that helmet.
3rd down and 3. Lodge hands, and it's touchdown for Kirk Whitmire. A 3-yard touchdown run. Handoff from Lodge to Whitmire over the left side. And nice hole. Runs it right in, so Clippers' 3rd stringers getting the job done.
Sure, the wide receivers would like to have a chance to put one in, as that is now the 5th rushing touchdown we've had this afternoon.
Portsmouth will go for the 2-point conversion. Lodge stays in. Whitmire, Leclerc is in there. There's a pitch. And a 2-point conversion is good for Sean Croto. So 2-point conversion. Sean Croto is really no one on the Clipper bench that isn't getting involved in this ball game. 42-0. Clippers on top, 5:15 to go.
Coach Dobney's just got to be ecstatic with what he's seen so far, because he's really emptied the bench to give everyone as much experience as they can, and they're all taking care of it. I think this is the touchdown replay that we're going to see here by Kirk Whitmire. There it is.
There was even a little mix-up in the backfield, but Whitmire got through his players and then took a Central player into the end zone.
But I think it looks as though a few of the players were taking off after Lodge, so it was either a mix-up or well disguised, because when Lodge emerged from the pile, he had a number of people following him, and Whitmire went right into the end zone. So that'll boost the score up to 42-0, and well, this is true domination.
Dobney on the kickoff. Ooh, gets a lot of leg into it this time. Fielded at the 5-yard line. Little green runner still on his feet. That was David Lesage, and he gets the ball back up to about the 29-yard line.
Mike Shea in on the tackle for the Clippers.
Getting very dark and ominous here at Gill Stadium in Manchester. Although they don't look like rain clouds, but it suddenly got darker for a minute.
It's been ominous all afternoon, but it really has not been quite this dark.
And as we mentioned, the rain pretty much stopped at the opening kickoff. We haven't seen any moisture since then. Benson hands to Schiavone. Schiavone pulls his way for about 5.
We're talking about offenses and defenses in their relative place in Class L. Concord, who played Central last week and is waiting for the Clippers 2 weeks down the road, is leading Class L in scoring, as they've lit up for 89 points so far this season. Only allowed 21.
Second down and 5. Flags all over. I know we had defenders moving, as the Clippers seem to be a bit confused in their defensive backfield. We'll see what the call is. It's motion on the little green.
And you can tell 3 flags immediately on the play, no doubt about it. We're talking about how Central has had trouble scoring points this season and none today, but they are not last in Class L as far as that's concerned. Milford has only scored 2 points all season long, and they are playing Exeter today. Exeter coming in at 1-1.
Apparently offsetting penalties. Stays 5 yards to go. 3rd down and 5 now. Benson will hand up the middle. And short of a first down. And a real pick pile in there.
This will really help the Clipper regulars as well, as they're getting quite a bit of rest in the second half and should be fresh for the Spalding game next week. And that is what we are looking at as well, as Coach Schubert encourages his team as they come off the field, but some pretty big clouds moving in. We may get out of here before they strike.
Nick Holquin is back to punt from his 24-yard line. Another high snap. That's something they'll be working on in practice. Punt is fielded by Max Stiles. Stiles up over midfield, he fumbles, and it's recovered by Central Parker. And Parker is taken out at the Portsmouth 47-yard line. So Stiles was hit hard, and he coughed up the ball, and Little Green recovered.
And a flag goes down out of bounds.
Could have been a late hit. We'll wait for the referees to sort them out.
Personal foul, yep, against the Clippers. Have to check who it was against.
Check that on the replay. We'll see Stiles fielding the punt. Another high snap for Holquin. Does a good job to drag it down. Pretty good punt, too. Stiles fields it. Gets about 5 yards. Gets about 10. Hit there. And hit right at where he was carrying the ball, so easy to see the fumble. There's a late hit right there.
It's a pylon. Pylon called against Owen Roberts, getting in late.
So Central gets the ball back in good field position, trailing 42-0 with 3:13 to go in this ball game. They would like nothing else but to get a few points on the board, have something to celebrate. Benson goes up the middle, and a pretty good pickup for Jeff Helwig. About 6, maybe 7 yards.
So this will light up a few of the people looking on today, or who will be reading about this game in the papers. 42 points for the Clippers today, and still on the sideline.
Kevin Delaney, nothing lighting him up. Still nursing that right leg. It's second down and a long 4. Helwig again, stacked up at the line.
Corralled nicely by Mike Shea. The clock continues to roll. A lot of dirty uniforms on the Portsmouth side, getting some well-deserved rest. Seems to me, I don't know if it says anything, but week in and week out, Dave Petruzzi is absolutely filthy when he goes off the field.
Spending a lot of time in the dirt, down next to the turf. Petruzzi, one of the real mud hogs on the line for the Clippers.
Pereira, Brewster, and Robbins also along that bench.
Looks like a first down for the Little Green. Helwig again on the carry. It's the ball down to about the 20.
Stopped by Jeff Roy.
Under 2 minutes to go in this ball game. 42-0. Clippers on top.
Let's see if maybe Central goes into a 2-minute offense or something, because you want to at least get out of the game with a score. And it's very quickly Jim Gardner checks in for the Clippers.
Helwig again stays inside with it. Picks up 2 or 3.
And brought down that time by Richard Weikart. So Weikart in on the tackle.